Hey everyone, Marvin here, and welcome back to Buddy Up Gaming. In this second chapter of our Golden Path guide for I Was a Teenage Exocolonist, we're stepping into Saul's first full year of life on Vertumna. Now if you haven't watched the previous video on character creation, I recommend checking that out first. It lays the foundation for everything we're going to build on, especially the early advantages we gave Saul. So what does success look like in year 10? In this playthrough, our goals are all about establishing momentum. We want Saul to sneak out into the wild and start leveling up their perception, animals, and bravery stats. We also want to win a competition at Vertumnalia and make sure Saul hits 5 bravery before glow season so they can help defend the colony. These 3 objectives will repeat every year, but year 10 is the most challenging because we're starting from scratch. On top of that, we'll also aim to unlock the first empathy perk, which allows us to use the spa. Before diving in, let's do a quick refresher of the UI in Exocolonist. Saul's skills are listed on the left-hand bar, and their empathy is already off to a strong start thanks to our calm temperament augmentation. Next, we'll hit the heart icon to see Saul's friendships. Then head into the gear panel and equip the ship engineering manuals, as this will boost our stat gains for activities that increase mental skills. Now, to kick off the month, speak to Saul's dad to receive the Sun Medallion, a secondary piece of gear we'll equip when we're not focused on mental skills. But for now, we're heading into our first activity, studying life sciences. Why life sciences? One of our long-term goals is collecting as many blue cards as possible, and one of the best early game blue cards comes from winning the science fair at the Vertumnalia festival. Participating in that competition requires building up Saul's reasoning skill. Every year, the stat threshold to participate in that event increases by 5, so we want to stay ahead of that curve early. When you initiate this first activity, you'll hit your very first card challenge, and the game walks you through how scoring works. To maximize our score, we'll usually aim to build the longest straight possible. Flushes and pairs are helpful too, but straights typically give you the best bang for your buck. If you don't hit the point threshold, you can choose to take extra stress in exchange for succeeding, which is often worth the trade-off if you're only 1 to 2 points off. In this example, I also could have replaced the engineering books with the Sun Medallion to win the challenge, but doing so would have reduced the stat gain from the activity. In this next example, you'll start to notice how experimenting with card placement really matters. One early challenge had me lined up with a couple of flushes and 2 of a kind bonuses, but with one small adjustment, swapping a blue 1 and 2, I lost a pair but gained a straight, and just barely won. Those little decisions can make a big difference, especially as the challenges ramp up. After the first month, Saul celebrates their birthday, which is always a touching moment, but also a strategic one. These scenes sometimes include options that influence rebellion, which we'll need at 70 if we haven't unlocked the mutiny in a previous run. Be sure to talk to Tammy. She'll give you a birthday cake, which becomes a handy birthday gift for Cal that can help us reduce stress. Speaking of conversations, get in the habit of talking to anyone with a speech bubble. These dialogue events sometimes give Saul a stat boost, a relationship bonus, or both. In year 10, chatting with Nem gave me a bump in toughness, reducing how many times I needed to play sports ball to unlock sneaking out. Tammy boosted empathy, helping me get closer to unlocking the spa, and Mars gave Saul access to the deliver supplies activity in the administration building, which we'll lean on later to raise the organizing skill. Now, let's talk about Tammy, because Pollen 1, or month 4, is when she is scripted to die. It starts with a dream about her future, and when she wakes Saul up and talks about Candy, you'll be presented with 3 choices. Choose the middle option. That's the one that saves her life. If you've been following the Golden Path objectives, this is a part of our goal to prevent unavoidable deaths. In the following month, you'll notice collectibles start appearing around the colony and during exploration. These are more than just flavor. They're incredibly useful for increasing Saul's relationships via gifting, and also serve as powerful bonuses in tougher card challenges. Always grab them when you can. The biggest turning point in year 10 is when Saul sneaks out into the wild. You'll want to time this right after Saul relaxes for the first time, so they enter the wild with 0 stress. In my run, that happened during Dust 1 or month 7. Sneaking out requires passing a toughness check of 20, which we can meet by combining a base stat of 15 with the +5 bonus from the sports ball gear. Since exploration activities don't boost mental stats, we'll also swap out the engineering manuals for the sun medallion this month. Now here's where the real strategy begins. Every event Saul completes in the wilderness adds 15 stress, but we will only suffer 13 thanks to the calm temperament augmentation. The goal is to complete as many events as possible without pushing stress so high that Saul has to lose an entire month resting to reset it. In my run, I was able to maximize the number of events completed because I planned around 2 key stress reduction moments. First, the final exploration event with Dis grants a 30-point stress reduction, and second, winning the Vertumnalia competition later that same month reduces stress by 50 points. Together, those events gave me enough breathing room to complete everything I needed to finish out year 10. During exploration, prioritize events that increase perception and then animals. And if you can, find the event that gives you the Mysterious Stranger card. That encounter is essential for unlocking the Sim storyline and eventually forging peace with the Overseer. Then comes the Vertumnalia Festival. I love reaching this part every year. The story really comes to life with an outburst of emotional narrative from all the major colony members. You can see during year 10 that the colony is feeling pretty optimistic of their decision to settle on Vertumna. For Saul, this event is key because it usually features a competition, and winning it grants the popular status, which doubles all kudos earnings for the next 3 months. We'll be using those hard-earned kudos at the spa and to buy gear at the depot. This year, we made sure Saul had at least 5 reasoning so they could participate in the science fair. That threshold increases annually, so stay on top of it. The card challenge for Vertumnalia can get pretty difficult, so if you are struggling to figure out a winning pattern, don't hesitate to use collectibles to push past it. After the festival, with the popular status active, we spend the next 3 months babysitting. It earns the most kudos at this point in the game and builds empathy, pushing us closer to unlocking the spa perk. By the time popular wears off, we have just a few months left in the year. At this point, don't worry too much about managing stress. Glow season is coming, and Saul is going to hit 100 stress regardless. Instead, focus on skill growth. I chose to prioritize engineering. While unlocking the first organizing perk is technically more urgent, the study engineering activity generates more stress, and at this point in year 10, we have stress to spare. Long term, this decision pays off, because unlocking the second engineering perk will eventually make all card challenges feel trivial. It's a smart investment that sets us up for a much easier run later on. Then we reach Glow, the colony's most dangerous season. Even though the narrative takes a darker turn, it's one of my favorite parts of the game. The artwork is beautiful, music is haunting, and there's a sense of urgency that brings everything together. To help defend the colony, Saul needs 5 bravery. That requirement goes up by 5 each year, so make sure Saul is gaining sufficient bravery during their exploration every year. Choosing to defend earns Saul the heroic status, which will be crucial at the start of year 11. When you're given the choice of where to defend during Glow, choose Geoponymous. This triggers an event where Saul must rescue Cal from an eye beast. If you've unlocked the option to soothe the creature, don't use it. We actually want to trigger the card challenge version of this event. Here's why. If Saul is sitting at 100 stress, and you happen to draw the unique Calm Temperament card, you can play it to reduce stress to 99. That small drop means Saul avoids resting the next month and can squeeze in 1 more activity. It's a minor optimization, but the more we can pull this off early in the run, the more time we save overall. And just like that, we wrap up year 10. We snuck out, saved Tammy, won Vertumnalia, and helped defend the colony during Glow. Our empathy is just shy of unlocking the spa, and we've made solid progress in engineering for future perks. I hope you enjoyed the second episode of our Golden Path walkthrough. Here you'll see the month-by-month activity list from my own run, in case you want to follow it step for step. Next time we jump into year 11, where we'll rescue Tonin and Hal, and help Saul adopt their very first pet. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode, right here at Buddy Up Gaming.